I'd like to call this meeting of our Board of Trustees to order. We always start with a Pledge of Allegiance. We're privileged to have General Keith Hubert to lead us in that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
General, I'd like for you to carry on a MTSU Board of Trustees tradition and introduce our honored veteran.
Thank you. President McPhee, Chairman Smith, Board of Trustees, members, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a special event for me personally as I selfishly reflect upon all the opportunities in this incredible university, not only for students and athletes, but for me personally. Charity Savage, I've had the opportunity, the privilege to observe, to listen to learn from, to mentor for the last 6 years of my youthful life. That's not a joke. Her mama is watching this being live streamed right now, and I can think of no greater task than we all have as sons and daughters than to make our beloved parents proud of us. And I know her mama is very proud of her accomplishments. Her mama decided she was going to have Charity go to university. And so she earned a full scholarship 2016 to 2020 to play basketball here at Middle Tennessee State University under the leadership and mentorship of Coach Insel and become one of our Lady Raiders. So if she looks familiar to some of you, you've seen her in number 33 jersey, and you've seen her grab rebounds unlike anybody else we've had here. So her junior year, she comes to me and she goes, my mama doesn't know this. I probably shouldn't say this now. My mama doesn't know this, but if I hadn't gotten a scholarship to come to the university in either athletics or academics, I was going to go into the military. And right now, I'm not playing as much as I want. So should I go into ROTC for the last 2 years here? And so we talked about the opportunities of going into the military and the physical and mental challenges and the honor of the responsibility of serving our nation and defending our freedoms and protecting our precious families. And then we talked about the bond she had on the basketball team and the loyalty to this university and specifically to Coach Insel and the team. And so after we spent a couple hours ago, she goes, okay, let me think about this. And then she comes back and she goes, and I already had her into the ROTC program. Of course, they looked at her and said, what a leader, what a demonstrated leader. Let's put her in ROTC for junior and senior year. She goes, no, I don't want to do that. I want to continue to play basketball. And played her senior year her heart out. All conference, rated 6th in the nation overall for rebounds, always on the Conference USA academic honor roll. Her accomplishments were very significant on the court. But when I tell you this is a lady warrior, I don't say that lightly. With 5.5 years of my life in combat, I understand what a warrior is and how they deal with injuries and deaths and adversity and disappointments and how they bring themselves back to lead this team. This was the leader of that team. And so she finished her undergraduate here in biochemistry, and then we talked. She goes, gee, I still want to go in the Army. Can I do that? Absolutely. This university and the ROTC program here allows you to go and get your master's degree and then enter the Army. So next month, ROTC Cadet Charity Savage will be commissioned as a second lieutenant. She will receive her master's degree in science in biotechnology. And she will be commissioned as an active duty second lieutenant in the Chemical Corps. So for those of us who have worn a uniform, let me just share with you, that is the biggest nightmare. When we went into Desert Shield, Desert Storm, when we went into Iraq the first time, all of us wore completely protective moon suits for 3 days, because as we overflew Kuwait and Saddam's forces and entered Iraq, why we all felt that we were going to be subjected to chemical and biological weapons. This will be the officer that prepares and defends our nation in that nightmarish environment of chemicals and biological weapons on the battlefield. Ladies and gentlemen, soon to be Lieutenant Savage.
Thank you. I just want to say I really appreciate the opportunity, and it feels amazing to stand here before you. A lot of familiar faces, some in the stands yelling at the referees, you know. But I just want to thank you all for enabling me to do what I've done here, both on the basketball court and both academically. It is really important for you to know, see a face of who you impact with your decisions, your votes, your meetings, because we love meetings, right? And I just really want to thank you. So a determining factor with me choosing to continue the path to the military after I graduated, because not a lot of people play 4 years of Division I basketball and then, just want to hop in active duty Army. But after I graduated and I was no longer playing basketball, it's kind of a void that I had. Like, I come out of a leadership position, and then it's like, well, okay, play basketball my entire life, and then just hop out into the civilian world. It's like, okay, what do? I can't rebound at Walgreens, so. So I got a job. I currently work at Aegis Sciences Corporation in Nashville as a quality control chemist. And it's just, I've always found myself in leadership positions. So what better way than to pay back the people who have paved the way for me to be here today, including my mom, Coach Insel, Chris Massaro, than to serve my country. So to me, it's the same as basketball. You're on a team with a mission and a common goal. It's just a little bit different on what it takes to get there, Practice looks a little different. Training looks a little different. But I will make it, and I just want to say I really appreciate every one of you in this room right now. So thank you.
This medallion's on behalf of the Board of Trustees and everybody here. No one's more proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
They say you didn't want to follow Charlie Daniels on the Opry. I don't think anybody wants to follow that. Fantastic. Now we're going to recognize our Blue Raider basketball teams. Today we recognize great success of our men and women's basketball teams this season and postseason. And for the past 3 weeks or so, we've been on national TV a number of times. An invaluable exposure of our students and university. We're proud of you. Most importantly, we're proud of the student athletes. I'm more proud of their graduation rate than the fact we won 20 games and undefeated at home. But both of those are fantastic accomplishments. So we'd like to recognize the coaches. And I know we couldn't keep Insel from speaking if we wanted to, so we put him on here to give brief remarks. Rick, would you say a few words? And then Nick, please. I want you to go wherever you want to. Yeah. We can record you up there.
I really want to thank you for bringing me on board here, not at this meeting, but on board here at Middle Tennessee State University. I've been with you 17 years, and Dr. McPhee and Chris, we've said this several times, I was hired twice, as you remember. Most people in here don't remember that, but they do. But it's been a heck of a year. It's been a heck of a year. To show you how good a coach I am, I sat Charity on the bench for 3 years. And then when I started playing her, she made all conference. And so one night, as usual, as often, my wife said, you know, if you'd have played Charity more when she was a freshman and sophomore, we might have a couple of more, conference championships. My response was, I get this at work. I really don't need this at home, honey. But she was right, and so were some of the other people. That just goes to show, you never know. You never know. Charity's a great, great young lady. We were very fortunate to recruit her out of Memphis, and she came in, and she was very loyal to the program and loyal to Middle Tennessee State, and it paid off. You sow corn, you get corn. She was not envious. She was not jealous. She just wanted to win and do what she had to do to make our program a better program and this university a better university. And I take a lot of pride when I see her standing up before you today. I think our program right now is in better shape than it's ever been since I've been here in 17 years. Now, tomorrow, you never know with the transfer portal. But today, all of our young ladies said they're coming back. And we've got just nearly we lost two, Dorsar, which is going to graduate with honors. And then Amanda Whittington, which also is going to go into graduate school here, but she's not going to play next year. And so we feel real good about what we've got. We lost out on Thursday night in a fantastic game. And then the next morning, we got a commitment from an all-conference guard, first team all-conference 2 times in our conference, that decided to come here and play with our young ladies next year, which I think will be even better for our program than where we were at this year. So already we met this morning, coaching staff, and so I'll let Chris know I was at work today. I was not on the golf course. And we talked about the fact that we think we should be in the Sweet 16, the Elite 8 next year, if we get it done in the off season, and that's what we're going to be working for right now. I know some of you may have a question or two, and if you do, you can fire away. I don't know if I got the answers, but anybody?
We've got an agenda, and your time's up.
Okay, I'm off.
Nick?
I'm coaching.
Yeah.
That's good. Does that mean I can go, Mr. Smith?
I didn't say you could go, but you're through speaking.
Well, I just, on behalf of our program, just want to say thank you to all of you in the room, particularly the folks, here on the board, Chairman Smith, Dr. McPhee, Chris Massaro, the backing and the support that our program gets and receives from you guys. We feel it. We know it. You can't have a special season as we were able to enjoy along with Rick's program. That doesn't happen by accident. It's not just a couple of people doing their job. It takes a village, and that's what we've got here at MTSU, a village of people that supports what we do. We get to play a game, and we enjoy doing it, and it's through your support that we get to do what we love to do. As Rick mentioned, it was a fun year. Some heartbreakers down the stretch, but we too are really excited about the group that we have returning next year. And, we feel really excited about the signees, and we've signed 2 guys back in the fall, and having those guys join our returning players really sets us up to have what we feel like is another special season next year. We were fortunate enough to not lose any this year at the Murphy Center, and we're going to try to keep it that way next year. Again, on behalf of my staff and our players, we really do appreciate what you all do for us. Thank you.
Chris, could you give us what the GPA of the basketball program is? You can combine them if you want to do quick math, or always round up in this regard. But
Rick had a fantastic.
Rick, what was your GPA?
Cumulative was 3.6.
It's about like Daryl's, 3.6. Add mine and Daryl's together, and you'd have got 3.6. Nick, what was your?
Ours was around a 3.0 total, and we've had 16. I think this year would be 17 consecutive years where all of the seniors that have played for us have graduated. So we're not bringing them here just to play ball. They're coming here and receiving degrees. All the seniors for 17 consecutive years.
Well, I'm impressed, and I hope everybody is. That'll conclude my remarks. And, Mr. President, do you have any opening comments or remarks?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Floyd, Secretary Floyd, would you call the roll, please, sir?
Yes. Trustee Baker.
Present.
Trustee Boyd.
Present.
Trustee Cottle.
Here.
Trustee DeLay.
Here.
Trustee Freeman.
Here.
Trustee Jacobs.
Here.
Trustee James.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Carboyak.
Here.
Trustee Wright.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We had 5 requests made to speak to our board that followed the rules and did accordingly. 4 of them are present. And if you would come forward one at a time. Secretary Floyd keeps the clock, and we welcome your participation, but the clock is the clock. Is anyone here? Are any of the people that asked to be here present?
I'd ask Mr. Brett.
I see. Braxton, you're first. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name is Braxton Coleman. I'm a senior here. My face looks familiar. I spoke here almost a year to the date. So. So, we ready? All right. So, one second. Today I'm here to speak about the status of Black MTSU. And before I go in depth into that, I've seen there's been a lot of controversy about a letter that I brought to the attention of everyone here, considering a former big donor, Reese Smith Jr., and his status on integration. So to clear up anything else, I do want to just start off by reading that in its entirety. I know it may take away from my time, but I feel like it's very important. So again, this is written October 3rd, 1962 to Senator Albert Gore Sr. in Washington, D.C. And here it says, Dear Senator Gore, I am most concerned over the Mississippi affair. When do two wrongs make one right? If one assumes Mississippi is wrong in not obeying the federal court, then the president and his most incompetent young brother is committing a wrong 1,000 times worse by using force to integrate Ole Miss. We as a nation can gain nothing by the use of force in this case. What can be gained if this Negro stays in school? We have national problems which are of the utmost importance, and yet we waste time, money, and have the entire world focused on Mississippi. I'm asking you to help in every way possible to get the troops out of Mississippi and the Negro out of Ole Miss. Only time, tolerance, and sound judgment can accomplish integration in Mississippi. You can take a mule to water, but you can't make him drink. I and many of my friends are watching your actions. Yours truly, Ray Smith, Jr. So we can talk about, was the word nigger used, was Negro used, and that's cool. But to be quite honest, the message is still the same. At that time, he didn't want black people at university. Ole Miss, MTSU, didn't matter. That was just his opinion. But if we spend all day debating semantics, then we're ignoring the true problem, which is the fact that a person who wrote a letter with this heinous language not only has a statue on campus, but also has a field named after him. In my opinion, that's very important. But I want to go into present day, right? And to put it bluntly, the university does a great job at recruiting black students, but doesn't really do much to make sure that they stay here and they graduate. That is, unless they can play some kind of sport that benefits the university. We see that in the fact that over the past 10 years, black enrollment has decreased by almost 2,000, going from 4.8 thousand to 2.8 thousand. We see that in the fact that there is almost little to no funding for programs that are dedicated to enrichment of not only black students, but also minorities in general. We're looking at the first phase of renovations for sports buildings. We get $100 million for that. But if we look at budgets in the library or any other department that's focused on students, it's usually less than $20K. And we also see that in that when we're looking at national events, MTSU tends to be on the wrong side. We look at Judge Donna Davenport, the national headline that was. And then we find out not only did she teach here, but she also gave a commencement speech, almost a stamp of approval from the university. We see that in not only things like Forest Hall, but also other building names that are omitted from the discussion. Again, we've already spoken on Reese Smith Jr. baseball field. We can also speak on the Midget building, named after Coach Midget, who wanted to name the university after Nathan Bedford Forrest, and so many other examples. So a lot of this is getting lost when we ignore the message. But to go into my second point, the university also has a tendency to silence black voices, or really any voice of opposition. Like I said, this time last year, I spoke on tear gas attacks on campus, presented proof and images and documentation, and the reaction by this board was to limit student speech, increasing the request time from 1 week to 2 weeks, only allowing students to speak on approved topics and not bring in documentation unless it is approved by a select number of people on this board. And that's not okay. How can we truly govern the university if we don't listen to those that are supposed to benefit from it? Seems simple. And this isn't the first example. We can go back to 2016 when another wave of student activism came on campus, this time concentrated on Forest Hall. And instead of defending the students that were speaking up on these atrocities, they were called slurs and berated by the local town. They weren't given help.
Mr. Coleman, your time is up.
Thank you for your time.
Mr. Marvel Bandy is next. Or Ms., I should say. Mr. If you'd introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for allowing me to be here and speak. My name is Tarika Dean. I am an alumni of MTSU. So I come here to speak not only as an alumni, but also as the parent of a graduating high school senior. One of the reasons why I felt compelled to come and speak today was due to my concern. I have a senior who is looking at a multitude of acceptance letters and which school he's going to attend. And as we go through and create a whole spreadsheet on different things from enrollment to cost of tuition to the programs to African American students' graduation rate, I'm quite concerned with what I see. And I won't go back over it because the gentleman before me just gave a lot of the statistics. What I'm here today is to say this is a concern of mine. As a graduate, I was a very active student here in student government, homecoming, Greek life. I enjoyed my time at MTSU. It's a different world from what it was back then. And I want my son to have the same experience at whatever university that he attends. And in looking at it, we have pause. And I thought that I should come here to let you know that there is a hesitation on my part as a parent and even him as a student, because ultimately we want him to be a successful student. I don't want him to just attend MTSU because it's my alma mater. I want him to attend because this is the best place for him and he'll be successful. And more importantly, he'll graduate. And that's something